Hello, and welcome to the Hypno Travelers on the Magical Psyche Highway podcast. That's right. Your host and tour guide is Scott Prevett, a healer, hypnotist, and a magician. And your bus driver is Jason Gobelli, also a hypnotist, an entrepreneur, and a spiritual guide. Disclaimer, neither Jason, Scott, or any of our guests here today are licensed professional psychologists or psychiatrists. So please don't make any changes to any medication or treatments that you are currently on based on the conversation that you hear here today. Just hop on the bus and enjoy the ride. Trip with us on the Inner Revelation bus. That's right.
Hi, I'm Jason. Welcome back to the Hypno Travelers on the Magical Psyche Highway. Again, we are excited today. We got a great guest with us, don't we, Scott?
Heck yeah, are you ready for this?
Oh, yes, we are. We got the great Jennifer Johnston. Jennifer, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So looking forward to having you on. It's going to be exciting to have you today.
Oh, I am so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Nice. So let's get started right off the bat, Jen. Who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm lots of things, but one of the things that I am that we share in common is a hypnotist and a mindset coach. And yeah.
Nice. So talk to us, Jen. You're a hypnotist. You're what led you into this? Talk. Where did your path go to lead you this way?
Well, the magic question. I've been thinking about it the last day, getting ready for this. And, this all started really like how lots of our stories start in our childhood. And, a dysfunctional family, a loving family, but, divorce and all kinds of things that led to my own issues. And I would say that in my teenage years, my methods of coping were not so hot, like alcohol, antidepressants, what have you, and traveled down, I guess, also the regular medical cognitive behavioral therapy and that kind of thing, which, it did something for me. But I finally took matters into my own hands in my early 20s and sought out an unconventional therapy, a wise woman. And it was a very smart move on my part. And it was funny about language because she had created an advertisement for herself. And there was literally only one paragraph, but that paragraph just described her so well. And energetically, I was just pulled to her. And, we worked together for, a while. And I found out later that I kind of put two and two together, and she was using EFT at that time and quantum time technique on me. And we were getting results. And of course, we had this great rapport. And she helped me a great deal. But one thing I didn't really understand was that you have to continue the work yourself. It's not only working with somebody, but it's continuing the self-work. And so I thought it was fixed for the most part. And of course, continued along, had two beautiful children, I have my husband and whatnot. And, read lots of wonderful books from like Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, explored, the universal laws to a certain degree, and actually got into local food movement. That's a big passion of mine, about educating people on food and direct connections with farmers and what have you. So, I was doing heart work and I was doing soul work, and I ended up starting my own business within that. And it was bringing fish and seafood from across Canada to our local markets and dealing with restaurants and all kinds of things. And so I really had my mission and I had my love and all those kinds of things, but I was still dealing with underlying anxiety. And some days were great when I get myself into the zone. But other days it felt just like it was hard, right? It was an uphill battle. And, and just, I realized now in hindsight that so much was all the stuff that I've learned now, dealing with how to cope with anxiety and going back to the old stuff and really properly dealing with it, right? So about 4 years ago, I ended up getting a hypnosis session with somebody. And something shifted. It was like nothing before. It was magical. As we say, this is kind of the closest thing to magic. And I recognized that I had hope again, and I understood my brain and how the crazy brain and how it works. And that really gave me a sense of freedom that I didn't have before with that understanding. So that's kind of what led me into all of this.
So are you doing some of the same things that they did on you? Is that what you're practicing and learning?
As far as the hypnosis goes?
Yes, all of it.
All of it. Okay. So what I decided to do was I've always wanted to help people. And because my business before was also into, being healthy and good food and all these wonderful things, I thought, you know what, this could be a great place for me to help people and use this. So of course, I met both of you in MMHA, and I've been learning and getting my master's in hypnotism in there, and learning from other trainers as well. And I've been able through hypnosis to help people with self-confidence, body image, pain, like actual physical pain, emotional pain, of course, and trauma. So a host of all kinds of things. But recently, I guess last October, I felt like there was something kind of missing. Like I wanted to bring in more of the coaching side of it. And I didn't know quite where to go. And there were people around who've been talking about this NLP thing. And I noticed that these people who had taken it were pretty like solid people, like they seemed to have their, what together. So Surinder Gill offered his training. I went to it, and as it turns out, it really was one of the massive like pieces for me. So I honestly today can't imagine not having that knowledge. I know that it's in everything. It's in sales stuff that I've looked at before, Tony Robbins, all of this stuff. But when you go and you immerse yourself into it for a week, it's like a game changer. So that's essentially what I am bringing now to clients. So I'm offering, of course, those sessions, those hypnosis sessions, which we know are so wonderful and powerful. But now I'm excited to talk to you about my Clover Method, and that is bringing in the coaching aspect to it. So basically, it's a 5-step process, including, the 4 leaves in the stem. And I do have an Irish background, and I look at it to really like is searching for that 4-leaf clover, And so would you like to hear about it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
What's it all about? Bring it to us.
Beautiful. Well, the root, the stem, we're going to first look at all of those limiting beliefs, all of those negative emotions. We're going to go back and find all the stuff, before your critical faculty was in place, and heal, identify and heal all that stuff. And then we're going to look at your strategies as of now. So come on, we're all doing something right. I know it sometimes feels like everything is wrong, but there are things and processes that we have in place that are working. So we're going to look at what's working and what's not working and figure out better processes to get what you want, what you're looking for, and this can apply to all kinds of things like weight loss and whatever, but we're actually going to take a holistic approach. So this is going to help everything. Then we're going to give you the tools so that you can maintain the tools that I was talking about before that I thought it was fixed. Well, no, reframing, anchoring, all those things that you can use in your daily life to maintain the positive outcomes that you're going to get. And then, of course, hypnosis. Hypnosis will be woven through the whole thing. And there'll be a session that's going to be directly embedding all that you are looking for, to forge that path ahead. And then lastly, we're going to look at your goals, because you know what? We need to look at goals. We need to look at where we're going, and our value system, what's really, really important to us. And so that you're leaving feeling well equipped and ready to move forward in a positive way with your 4-leaf clover.
Yes, absolutely. So it sounds like you've been through some trials and some struggles and stuff like this. So what are some of the things in your life where you can show that resilience, where you've gotten through it and not given up?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest thing would be creating my own brand. That was something. So that was like overcoming that, like, naysayer, the critic in my mind, and saying, no, like, I'm going to do this. Right. And so I would say that was a massive, a lot of people around me were like, are you crazy? Like, what are you doing? Right. But it taught me a lot. It gave me a lot of appreciation for other people and really like small business and what it takes to be, an entrepreneur. It's easy to be on the other side of it and criticize the leader and whatever, but wow, it's quite a thing to be able to get something off the ground and launch it and keep at it. Right. So I would say that's part of the don't give up for sure.
But Jen, you've been doing this for a long time. You've got message of resilience since you have been a little kid. So what is in you? What's that inner stuff in you that you can give to us and our viewers about getting through it? Your stuff.
Well, I was lucky enough to have some people in my life, like who gave me a lot of love, especially my grandparents and stuff. And, I was given, and from that love, just to keep going. And I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to say, like, it is a challenge, but I'm still standing. I'm still here. And so thank you for pointing that out, because, even though we have these great breakthroughs, and we think it's all part of the plan, all the steps are part of it. And, it's not just like, oh, it's great to have something that works, but, we got to getting out of bed every day and, signing up for, giving it another go is a big thing. We don't realize what people are really going through.
So that said, when was that time, when you had that first moment, that aha moment, like, I'm here to help people. I'm here to make a difference. When did that happen? And what was that all about?
I always appreciated, even at a very young age, I was very interested in, now I would say energy work. Like I would always like help massage my family members. I was really interested in meditation and that kind of thing. I remember, like, as a little girl, I would tell meditations to my mom and stuff. So I would say that started at a very young age. But, even when I was 20 going to my wise woman, I was interested in that point. I was very excited about what she was doing. And I thought, oh, this would be really cool. But I really said to her at that time, I feel like I haven't lived enough to really help people. So I had to go through some more, to be able to connect with people in a way that I felt was authentic. I'm not saying that other people can't help people at a younger place, but in the way that we're using hypnosis right now and everything coming together, I just feel like I have a vantage point that I probably didn't have when I was younger. Even though I'm still going through stuff, right? Like, you know, even Mike always says, like, we're constantly doing the self work, you know, and it's a work in process.
Beautiful. So along this path, you've picked up some mentors, not just hypnosis, but all over the place, probably starting with your grandparents. But tell us a little bit about these mentors and how they've shaped you to be who you are.
As far as my interests go?
All of them.
All of my interests.
Just talk about those mentors.
I studied art in high school, and I went to graphic design, and I got I'm a graphic designer. I also love to paint. So I still paint now, and I really enjoy that. I have a love for cooking. I have a wonderful garden. And I love learning about herbs and how they can help you, as far as, you know, herbal teas and all kinds of tinctures and stuff like that. That kind of leads us into mentioning the podcast that I have with Dana, of course. And that was a really amazing thing because it was all about intention, and it was actually about you guys. So thank you so much, because you planted the seed. When I saw you doing it and you were just going for it, it really inspired me. So I had in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I'd really like to do that. And I'd like to find somebody to do it with me. And Dana just stood out. Like, we just got on really, really well. And we have a lot of similar interests. So with the Hypnosis and Beyond podcast, the Beyond is all of those interests, like beyond just mental work, but, you know, like the physical too. You know, as far as cooking good stuff and learning about Ayurveda and meditate, all kinds of meditation and alternative healing and all kinds of stuff like that. So that really helps fulfill that side of me that's still seeking, right? And exploring.
Yeah, you guys are going to do wonderful, actually, because a lot of people are going to much rather watch a couple of young girls than a couple of old guys like me and Scott, huh, Scott?
I don't know about that. I was pretty excited to get on here, and I watch your podcast, so I really appreciate it.
So let's mention some names. Who are some of those guys, some of those mentors you've had over the years?
Some of the mentors?
Yeah. Who's helped shape you to be who you are?
Who has helped shape me? Well, I would definitely say, like, going back to my grandparents, I would say, you know, one of my business partners that I was involved with my business in, he really was wonderful he was already on to NLP then, but he had the NLP from the sales perspective. So, you know, to use it in selling, which I'm sure you're aware of too with your background. And so I was intrigued with this because it was delving into understanding yourself and then understanding how to deal with others. So that was really intriguing for me. I've had, you know, my uncle is a blues guitarist, and I love the blues and I love the art. And Mike Mandel, he's a great mentor to me now. I mean, he's fantastic. I saw a show of Mike's in college, and and now he's in my life now. So that's how cool life can be. You know, you never know where people are going to show up in your life, right? So
it's true.
Yeah, the gifts that are along the path.
Nice. Scott, your turn. Ask some questions. You're up. I've been hogging the show again.
Hey, Jen, so you've got this Clover modality. Can you tell us more about what do you expect from that?
As far as working with others, I feel like it's, you know, again, with the hypnosis, you know, we can make major change in one session, but it gives people the opportunity to really look at what they're doing when they're out of trance. So you're learning and you're starting to piece things together, you know, with cause and effect. So you're, as an example, as one of the models, you know, being in a place of taking a breath and looking at the situation and then deciding what you're going to do, as opposed to playing a victim role would be one. And there's just so much learning within it. So what I really like about it is that people can engage their conscious mind and their unconscious mind through the Clover effect, because of the weaving of the trance in it as well. And giving the power to people to actually understand how their mind works is a major thing.
You give them a lot of homework then.
Yes, there's homework in it. And so that's part of it too. People have to be ready for it. Like, you know, with the one session, with the hypnosis, you can kind of go in and decide if you like it and if you want to continue on. But for people who are really at, like, you know, the point where they're like, you know what, I've had enough. I know there's something better for me, and I really just want to put the time in. That's really important before you do the Clover Method. You have to be all in, you know.
Nice. So if you're looking back 10 years from now, what do you expect that you've accomplished?
Well, that's a big question. Well, I would say that I'm going to continue the work that I'm doing with others. I'm going to continue the work on myself. And my family means a lot to me. My kids are really important. So my relationship with them is one of my number one priorities. So it's that they're proud of me. So 10 years from now, whatever I do, it doesn't matter. I want to have a good, solid relationship with them. And that's going to tell me where I am in 10 years. Because if it's a good relationship, then I've done something right.
Awesome.
Obviously, you're doing things right, Jen, because look at you.
Heck yeah, you're upwardly mobile like a rocket.
So, Jen, how do our viewers get a hold of you?
Well, I have this website, jennifercjohnston.ca. I know it's not overly creative. I'm thinking of perhaps, you know, adding another website, but, you know, I figure for now, just use my name. And of course, Hypnosis and Beyond podcast. And those are the two places right now that you can get in touch with me.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Scott, you have any other questions?
Jen, thank you so much for spending time with us today and taking time out of your schedule and coming and visiting with us. We really appreciate it.
Likewise. It means a lot to me, guys. Thank you so much. I've really looked forward to this. It's been a
Jen,
pleasure.
I got a couple more questions for you here. We're not through. We're not letting you off the hook.
Oh, I'm not off the hook.
Oh, no, we're not through. So let's pretend that now you're talking to your younger self and you saw there. Well, could you possibly imagine where you're at today, and what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, you worried too much. You should have been
Nice.
like, just trust in yourself, and take a deep breath and be calm, because you know what, it's going to be okay.
It sounds like you're practicing that method right now.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Always.
Wonderful. Okay, so now there's another question. I know that when you're busy, and most people that when they're busy and they're real active and they got all kinds of things going on, a lot of times it becomes hard at home. So is your husband supporting you in the family life? How's that going? Is everything does that work well?
Well, you know what? I'm really, really happy that you brought that up, because that is a part of it. This past weekend, I actually brought my husband and my son to an NLP weekend.
Oh, cool.
That was awesome, I have to say. I mean, I was kind of worried that my son would drop out at the last minute, but he came, and he's only 19. And I'm thinking, if he can get the learnings at this age, he's going to be set in a different way. So he seemed to really enjoy it as much as a 19-year-old is going to admit. But, you know, things have not been perfect, obviously. And in like family life, often there's a lot of stress, right? But I would say that since I started like the hypnosis and the NLP, they can see the shift in me, and I have created a better atmosphere, because my energy has changed. So never underestimate what you can do, and it starts with you. So that's what I tell her. You want to change your relationship, start with yourself, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
just like one of your people that you've been following for a while, Dr. Wayne Dwyer. When you change the way
I
you
love I love him.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know you do. I can tell. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
exactly.
Exactly.
The
Yeah.
Power of Intention, all those books.
Yes. So wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Jen. So here's the big question. You ready for the big one?
Okay.
What are your words of wisdom for our viewers?
Words of wisdom. Be true to yourself. You know, as hard as it can be, check in with yourself. Feel it energetically in your body. Is it right for you?
Nice. Nice.
Powerful.
Yeah, wonderful. Scott, anything you want to add?
That's great. I really appreciate the fact that you've got another podcast going on and that you're getting all this time and you spend all this time with your family. I don't know where you find the time. I really don't.
Well, luckily my daughter has moved out and my son is younger, so or not too far off, so it makes a big difference. It definitely was pretty crazy in the house when the kids were younger, so yeah, but thank you so much for that, and I'm so happy that you guys are doing what you're doing, and I don't think we can have enough just telling people about the power of hypnosis.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Hey, it's been awesome traveling down your highway and going down your magical psychic highway. That's been a lot of fun. Scott, do you have anything else you want to say? Jen, do you have anything you want to say?
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
The pleasure's all ours.
Absolutely.
We love traveling down your magical psychic highway. Thanks for showing up and thanks for being there. And for our viewers out there, we're glad you're here too. We're glad you're here. We ask you to subscribe if you like us. Give us the thumbs up. If you think we're assholes, give us the thumbs down. We don't care. We're just glad you're here. Please, we hope to see you next week. Thanks for coming.
Wow, what a trip. Thanks for taking that journey with us today. Please like us, share us, and enlighten us with your views of the topics we drove into today. We appreciate you and love reading your comments. Thanks again, and we hope to see you back on the bus next week. That's right.